Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new to this channel, my name is Terry. I focus on pen reviews, a little bit of handwriting practice, and a little bit of art. In this video today, I'm going to talk about the Majohn X1 and compare that to the Montblanc Boheme. I reviewed this pen probably a few months ago, and I only had it for maybe a day or two, so it was more of a first impressions video. And so before I posted the video, I actually did some research and realized that it was a copy of the Montblanc Boheme. When I was doing the video, I didn't realize that this was actually a copy of a Montblanc. But this is the Majohn X1. Again, I've had this for a few months. And this is the Montblanc Boheme. This is the pen that it's based on. And these pens are pretty much the same length. They're both 4 7/16 inches or 112.7 millimeters. The sizes, the weights do vary a bit because this one has a metal cap. So the weight of this one is 29.5 grams capped and 18.7 grams uncapped. The Boheme is 25.4 grams capped and 18.8 grams uncapped. And I'll put all of this on a screen caption. So this is the white version, and this is resin cap and a resin body. So this one matches more with the Boheme as far as weight. This one is 25.0 grams capped and 18.0 grams uncapped. And again, this is 25.4 grams and 18.8 grams. So they're pretty identical as far as weights. So looking at the pens, I'm gonna count the number of turns it takes. This one takes quite a few more turns to uncap. So that's 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4, about 4 and not quite a half turns. I would say 4 1/4, 4 1/3 turns. Whereas this one takes quite a bit fewer. So make sure it's not too tight. Okay, so 1, 2, 2, then that's definitely a quarter. 2 1/4 turns versus 4 1/3 turns. So both of these pens are retractables, and you can see that just says Majohn. Majohn. And it's a retractable, and you just use this knob down here. It turns and the nib comes out. So this is extra fine nib. It says Moon Man there. It's extra fine. They only come in extra fine for now. Hopefully at some point that'll change. But these are both extra fines, all I could find. And the Montblanc is a medium. And here this says Boheme, Montblanc Boheme. And again, you just turn this knob and the nib comes out. There's the Montblanc. This is a 14 karat gold medium. It says 4810, 14 karat medium. There's the feed. You can compare the feeds, and I'll show you something. The feeds. So this is the Majohn. This is the Montblanc. You can see they both have those notches in the feed. And the feed right here and right here. So what this does is very important actually. Both of these caps have, this is the X1 cap and this is the Boheme cap. You can see they both have rods in them, metal rods. And what that does is, should you forget, because most of us, I know we don't have pens that extract and retract, it's kind of habit to just go and put the cap on like that. But if you do that, you risk, see, it goes right past the cap, so you risk ruining your nib. So that just stops you, that rod stops you and reminds you to retract your nib. And both of these are pretty much the same as far as that. Majohn pretty much copied the same form. So as far as filling, this is again the X1. It just uses the small international cartridges. I use the Dryden Designs cartridges for these. And for the Montblanc, I use their cartridges. So it does the same. You just flip that back and you just take this out, push a new one in, it clicks in, and that's it. So as far as the cartridges, this is a Dryden cartridge, and this is a Montblanc cartridge. And the Montblanc is just a little bit, the ridge comes down here a little bit farther than the Montblanc. The Dryden. I tried to put the Dryden in the Montblanc, but it wouldn't work. I really like the Dryden ink, so that was a little disappointing. I have a little box of Montblanc ink here that came with the pen, but it's not going to last forever because, unfortunately, you can see the size. It doesn't last very long. So as far as cleaning would be a pain, and from videos that I've seen, people have, rigged their cartridges and put water in it and flushed it out that way. I plan on just keeping the same cartridge, the same ink in these. Same brand. So the Montblanc always have Montblanc blue, and this one will have Dryden black, and this one will have Dryden blue. So I'm gonna do first I am going to test these for leakage. I've had these, I know this one leaks already. This one has a little flaw in it, I'm gonna show you. But I had these turned over overnight, and so I'm gonna get some swabs and see how well they held up. I know the white one is a disaster. If it was red ink, it would look like a murder scene. So really quickly, this is again the black Majohn X1. I'm just going to swab the cap. So not too bad. Overnight, it's mostly dry ink. There's nothing really wet there. There's a little bit in here. I'm sure it's just coming from the nib. So let's try the Boheme. Do the same thing. Again, these were upside down in the Boheme, because he really doesn't have anything. And that's just from the nib. And this one, the white one. This one is a mess. I want to move the drawing out of the way. See, you can see there. This pen actually has a tiny crack in it. And this one, I think I've only had this one for about 2 months. I think I got this maybe a month after I got the black one. And I don't know if you can see. right here, there's a crack. So that gives you a clue of the quality of the materials. Hopefully you can see that, but you can see there's a crack on that section. So I'm pretty sure that's where the leaking is coming from. No big deal. I'll fiddle with it and probably just store it. I'll probably just store it right side up. I definitely won't carry it in a case anymore. So I'll do some writing samples, and so you can see how these measure up to each other. I am using my little black and red notepad today. Zoom in here. Oh, before I forget, okay, Boheme X1. This is a Kaweco AC Sport, and this is the palette E95S. Zoom back out. You can see that they're in between those two. And as far as posting, and I can show you how they post as well. The posting, pretty simple. You just screw it on the back there. So, post it. Just post it. The E95S, post it. So the E95S is the longest posted, and then followed by the Boheme and the X1. So in the hand, they're pretty comfortable. Okay, writing time. Zoom back in. Maybe not that much. Okay. I'm going to start with the X1. It's already gotten dry from the cap being off, but it usually doesn't skip or anything. Majohn X1. And this is the extra fine stainless steel. This is the Majohn X1 black, and the ink in here is Dryden black cartridge. We'll go over here to the white one, and it's going to be pretty much the same except for we have blue ink. I need to clean out the cap. The cap is loaded with ink. It's kind of a thick extra fine on this one. Black, I mean white. Extra fine stainless steel nib, and the ink in here is Dryden blue. I really like the Dryden cartridges. They're nice and wet, and they have a nice density to them. So I'm going to put this one away because it's a disaster waiting to happen. To the side. So to the Boheme. the Montblanc Boheme. It's a very dark blue ink, but it is blue. And this is a medium, 14 karat. And the ink is Montblanc. And this is blue. So that's how that looks. This is a firm nib for the most part. Reverse, not too much in reverse. And this was $400 on eBay, and they stopped selling these several years ago, but you can find them. You can find the different variations as far as sizes and stones. I think it's a little harder to find the ones that are bigger. There's one that's slightly longer that also uses the same cartridge system. And then there's another that's even longer that uses the traditional converter. So some lines for the X1. Very thin. Again, another firm nib. But a nice writer. And okay in reverse. And these are $38 to $40 on eBay. So yeah, you can get 10 of these for the price of a Boheme. As far as quality, do I feel a difference? Well, when you look at this one, it's already cracked after 2 months. That's something to think about. The clip on these are totally unusable. They just really don't move at all. The Montblanc clip is usable. As far as quality in the hand, I don't honestly feel that much of a difference, but I am confident that this probably won't crack after a couple months use. This could be just a one-off, but that's, if you're interested in these pens, that's a decision for you to make. You may just want to try one of these first to see how you like, because there's a lot of twisting. You have to twist here to get it off. Then you have to twist here to get the cap on. You have to twist one more time to get the nib to come out. And then you got to do it all the same, all over again to get it capped again. So it's kind of a novelty pen, but I really enjoy these pens. Even the cracked one, I really enjoy it. I'll fix that up, no problem. But as far as pros and cons, I'm gonna write with the Boheme, since I've already talked about the X1 in the previous video. So as far as pros and cons, for the X1, pros and cons. X1 is inexpensive, of course. It's a nice writer. Beautiful. Widely available on eBay or other marketplaces. And the one thing about this pen is, if you're anal like me, no matter where you, sorry, not this one, this one, the X1, no matter where you are in posting it, the nib always lines up with the cap, the clip. The Boheme kind of does that, but it's just, and for both of these, you have to get this lined up just right in order to for the Boheme, as you can see, the clip is a little bit to the right of the nib. See, but that's just me. So let me go back to the pros and cons. Nib lines up nicely. With clip and post it. Cons, well, you can see questionable construction, quality, questionable, durability is questionable. Like the Boheme, it's hard to clean, so you may just want to keep the same ink. And for the X1s, they only have extra fine nibs. Lots of turns to cap and uncap. And clip is decorative only. You can hook it onto a strap in a case, but you may fray it. I frayed my rubber holders in my case. So the Boheme, pros and cons. With the Boheme, you're going to get Montblanc quality. It's a nice nib, as you can see. It's smooth. And so is the X1. And it's a unique design. I credit Montblanc with coming up with this quirky design. I actually had this as a pro when I first did the X1 because I didn't know any better. But this is the OG, so the unique design pro goes to this. Both of these have the same cons of small cartridge. I'll put that over here, small cartridge only. It's quite a bit more expensive, of course. It's no longer sold, but you can find them here and there. No longer sold by Montblanc. Again, the same, hard to clean. And although it takes fewer turns to post and unpost this, it's a lot to post and unpost. But that's all I had for this comparison. As far as quality, I definitely think the X1 has a lot to offer. If you don't mind, using a copycat, but with my left hand. This is a retractable. I think I mistakenly called it a safety pin in the first video. These are not safety pins, they're just retractables. And the Montblanc. Boheme. So both are lefty friendly. But that's all I had for today. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you all for your support as always, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.